Okay, pause it.
Right? What you saw there was a careless person throwing their trash on the ground. In this short 2 paragraphs, we'll be talking about the dangers of throwing trash in the ocean. Also ways on how you could possibly help this situation. I'll be going over some fun facts and some information you probably never heard of, and the dangers of how the world, wildlife, and ocean is getting affected by this global phenomenon. Fact 1. The total volume of the water available on Earth is about 1.4 billion kilometers, and 70% of the Earth is covered in water. Fact 2. At least 320 million people in China do not have access to clean drinking water due to pollution. Fact 3. The nuclear crisis that occurred in Japan after 2011 tsunami promoted the Japanese government dumped 11 million liters, which calculates to 2 million gallons, of radioactive water in the Pacific Ocean. Fact 4. 14 billion pounds of garbage, mostly plastic, is dumped in the ocean every year. Fact 5. The 2011 tsunami in Japan created 70 kilometers of long islands of debris, which is floating on out to our Pacific Ocean. Fact 6. The water pollution is a major cause of various diseases, like chlorine and salmonella. These diseases can grow intense stereotype typhi and blood diseases. Fact 7, about 700 million people worldwide drink contaminated water due to water pollution. Last fact, fact 8. Important water pollution contaminants which are man-made include heavy metals, nutrients, microbial pathogens, cementids, organic matter, and etc. Now, you probably never heard of those facts I just read. Now you might be wondering how all this began. During the American Revolutionary War, the 19th century introduced new sources like air and water pollution. Back then, soldiers didn't realize they were dumping trillions of trash in the ocean and affecting our wildlife. During these, in 1970, the government has created different days to help our water and air pollution and land pollution, like Earth Day and legislative victories like Clean Water Act in 1970 and the Clean Water Air Act in 1972. In the later part of the 13th century, in an effort to reduce water pollution, England's King Edward I decided not to burn sea coal, but his rule did not change the water pollution over time at all. Now let's discuss on how it affects our wildlife. Our toxic algae and species also impact the health of both wildlife and humans. When these algae flourish, because of nutrient pollution in the water, they produce toxins that poison aquatic organisms like seabirds, fish, sea turtles, and aquatic mammals like dolphins, manatees, and sea lions. Lots of these animals, mammals, and etc. think that trash is food, which results later in death. Another way is the issue for this environment due to the pollution killing organisms that depend on these water bodies. Now I'll be going over many ways you can help this situation. But let's discuss on how you can help it without spending your money. One way is when you go to a restaurant, ask for no straw or no paper straw. You can help by picking up trash near you in parks, cities, and other places that have trash everywhere you can see. Another way is you can help is I will leave links in the description below of helping these organizations and GoFundMe pages by donating money, and they will give you stuff for donating. One of the GoFundMe pages, if you donate over $20, they will give you supplies like t-shirts and a bracelet that's made of plastic itself. Most of countries and cities and states have recycling trash, have trash cans near your house. If you would like, please recycle your trash or plastic cans and paper inside there. One last thing on how this affects me. Me and my group and people itself. It affects because people don't think it affects our economy and ecosystem. Like when there's pollution in the ocean, over 7 million people don't have access to clean drinking water. And how our beautiful ocean creatures are dying every year due to pollution in our ocean.
8 million metric tons of plastic trash enters the sea from land every year. The equivalent of 5 plastic bags filled with trash for every foot of coastline in the world. Across our ocean, plastic trash flows into circulation, dispersed almost everywhere, but concentrating in huge swaths in the midst of global currents, breaking down into smaller and smaller pieces, ingested by species across the marine world, and sinking to the bottom of the sea.
Anyone can make plastic anywhere in the world and sell it anywhere else in the world. There's no design paradigm, there's no barriers. In order to solve the plastic packaging problem, we need to effectively rethink the entire system. From one which is linear, i.e. take, make, dispose, to one where it can be recovered and fed back into the economy as a valuable plastic material, or one where it is biobenign and it can enter the environment. The ultimate goal of the new plastics economy is to design an economy where plastic packaging never becomes waste. And to do that, we need every single player in the chain to change the way that they do things.
But marine pollution comes in many forms. Industrial, agricultural, and urban waste also sweep into the sea, fueling explosions of algae that rob marine ecosystems of the oxygen they need to survive. With sustained pollution, these areas become dead zones, which already exist in more than 400 locations across the globe. But nutrient pollution can be managed through change in major contributing systems like agriculture.
If you eat, you're involved in agriculture. So it's a problem that all of us have to work together to solve. Soil health is critical for water quality. It's the first thing we have to focus on. Here on the farm, organic matter is the key thing that we try to improve. The more organic matter you have in the soil, the better the soil can hold on to nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen. Organic matter keeps it from leaching out of the soil. It grabs onto it, and that's good for the farmer, but it's also good for water quality in the bay. For any farmer to change their system is tricky, and it takes a lot of work. I think all farmers want to. It's learning different processes, practices that allow you to do it effectively that becomes a key.